In the spring of 2016, 3 communities from the Fire Adapted Communities Learning Network got together to host a series of learning exchanges in the Pacific Northwest region. FACnet is a learning network made up of Fire Adapted Communities practitioners. For more information about FACnet or the members featured in this video, please go to fireadaptednetwork.org. A learning exchange is an event where people are getting together to share what they know. There's often a host agency or organization, but they're not the ones sort of just showing what they do. It's an opportunity for everyone to have a discussion about their approaches to the objectives and the learning topics.
I think the most useful thing I've found about this format is the opportunity that it's given us to really just connect with other folks and build some relationships.
You know, in advance we heard from several of the people that are participating today about what they were interested in hearing, and so we were able to specifically structure some of the tour and discussion around things that people are particularly looking for solutions for. That was really useful to have that kind of flexibility to say, what are you interested in? And then we were able to show some examples of what we're working on here locally and then get feedback from people.
The information sharing is really neat too, because you just build relationships, you find out how you're kind of connected to other people and how you can really boost your programs back at home.
I think one of the most interesting things I saw here while at the Learning Exchange was the way one community was utilizing the trimmings from fuels reduction projects and taking that material and integrating it into their general waste stream from the community to create compost that they were able to sell to local members of the community, and seemed a real innovative way to take advantage of that material. And it's always great to see folks able to get economic return from doing restoration and fuels reduction work in their communities.
Just their FEMA work that they've done, just getting some insight into what FEMA grants kind of look like. At our national conference, we have someone who's there and is involved in FEMA, and so getting the perspective of someone who works there and then actually seeing it on the ground in the process, pretty eye-opening.
Just over lunch, we were talking about the Deschutes collaborative, and I'm really excited to bring some of those ideas back to the outreach committee of our Forest Health Collaborative. And then the Fire Free program, I'm really excited to learn more about that and read through their toolkit and see what we can bring to our Firewise program based on their success.
About business resilience, a lot of times I get overwhelmed because how do you reach the business community? That it's a huge sector of the population, and really reaching them and getting them involved has been a challenge. And one thing I heard today is think about businesses that you really need to stay open during and after a wildfire. Think about your grocery stores, your fueling stations, your hospitals, things like that really your whole community relies on. Engage those people first, really prioritize them, and then start from there.
And really talking about who is going to help and facilitate and coordinate that long-term recovery is a piece that we hadn't thought of before, something that we hadn't really thought of approaching. So that's going to be one of our first things when we get home, is talking to our emergency manager and setting up that meeting with some of our community centers and seeing what we can do to plan for long-term recovery.
I guess it was just a huge eye-opener to me. Like, I think of Washington and rain, but they have very similar topographies and fuel loads as we do, and so just being able to see that and the impact that they're making on some of their grant work and implementing them, doing some fuels reduction around homes, like that, I thought that was fabulous. It was pretty amazing just being able to be a part of all 3 of the regional workshops, and so bringing it here was really fun. I feel like we have a lot to highlight here. We also have a lot of work to continue, especially kind of gleaning things from the other workshops. So my favorite part was, of course, getting out and actually showing the work that we have done and what we're looking to do and some of our kind of special projects.
Being able to share some of what we've done in Okanagan and in the Manhattan Valley with some folks here in Ashland that are looking to do business resilience. And you know, just having that energy is really the best part, because we all get very focused on what we're doing at home, and sometimes to step back and hear what other people are doing and get a little more energized ourselves, I think is really valuable.
And I think private landowners are a real important part of the landscape, and so I like it when private landowners can get recognized. It's nice being one of those being recognized for the work that we do, and so I thought it was a great opportunity to remind people that there's a lot of good work being done on private lands out there.
You know, one of the takeaways that I really got from Southern Oregon here was being able to see some projects that were implemented on the ground. A lot of times we spend all this time planning these projects or looking for funding for the projects, and really they have to be implemented very well so that we can continue to be successful in the future.
That it's okay to keep it simple. I'm not saying we kept ours very simple, but simplicity gives a lot of space for free thought and open conversation and creating that dialogue that's so necessary in the exchange.
I'd say the upfront work that we did to really identify what our objectives are from the exchange was really helpful. So that we went into each exchange with, here's some outcomes that we really want to have, and so you can plan those as a host, and you're not just guessing about what people may or may not be interested in. Yeah, it gives you the chance to really kind of delve in deep with really getting into topics that you may be trying to figure out locally but haven't done that yet, and a partner might have already gone down those roads and got those things figured out. And so really hearing from their experiences and being able to spend the time to really ask the questions that would maybe help you advance the same topic in your location, really valuable.
You know, I came home with a list and I was calling folks on the way home from Central Washington like, we have stuff to do. So it was a way to really think about how do I front load being prepared not only for before the fire and during, but for some of those recovery pieces.
This is a great process. I really enjoy being a part of it. I feel fortunate that our organization, individually, that I can be a part of this network. I think it's really important.
These learning exchanges wouldn't be possible without all the hard work that our network members put into organizing and designing them. So a big thank you to our network members and their partners locally who hosted tremendous learning exchanges.